You may remember my video here about how to do a handrail lash, which is very closely related to how this is done. This is slightly fancier. You can use a ring bolt hitch, or you can use a SpineCoil, which is what I've done right here. That means that if I take that out right there and loosen that up and undo it, and there's a little bit more unlocking that I'd have to do here, this will come apart rapidly. But the reason that I'm not really going to do that is because this is the definitive way for carrying a flashlight. There is no better way for quick flashlight retrieval than a retaining cord like this. I loop my finger in it like you saw a few seconds ago, pull up, and the tail cap is right in my hand. It is in the proper flashlighting position. Right away. This has the single drawback of, now that I am interested in flashlights enough that I want to upgrade, I can't find a flashlight that has all the features that I want. But that's a subject for another video. If I ever find the perfect flashlight, or way more likely have it custom made for me, I'm going to do a video about it right here. There we go. Okay. Now, retaining cords. Talking a little bit more about mine specifically, I have it done with a perfection loop right here. Click through for a video, eventually. And I have a shortening right here that is, I believe I called this a waterfall chain, because, you know, look at it. It's discolored a little bit with time and age and wear, but that's because I very seldom take this thing apart and wash it, because it doesn't see the same. I mean, I have it on me all the time, but, you know, it's not like I'm dragging it through the mud. When you have a retaining cord like this, getting it with your thumb and pulling it up puts it in the perfect position, but it also means that if you have a front button or a side switch, you can't really use that. If you have a twisty cap, you can't really use it for that. It is only for the tail button. But that means that you can access this and be shining it really quickly. You saw it, as you saw at the beginning of the video. Alright, not a whole lot else about that I really have to say. I mean, it's a pretty short subject. Retaining cords for the win. Obviously the best way to carry your primary flashlight, especially one that's a simple operation, just instant on, or whatever hypothetical future super flashlight that I get custom made for me, like I mentioned earlier. Alright, there's nothing really special about this flashlight other than that it is bright and that it accommodates a handrail lash. So I'm not going to talk about the flashlight itself too terribly much. The reason that there's no rubber on the back here is because this is very, very old. I just beat the bejesus out of it. There was tattered rubber in here and it was flapping around, so I eventually just went in with a pair of needle nose pliers and ripped all of that out, because it was trapping stuff, debris and moisture occasionally in there, and that's just not what I want out of that. Alright, if you have found my recommendation of the retaining cord for a flashlight useful, and if you're watching my channel, there's like a 90% chance that that is the case, give me a thumbs up to raise my ranking in search results, make me more popular in the sidebar. Give me a subscription to see more videos like this in the future, where I'll be talking periodically about what I carry on a daily basis, such as, and I know I use this very often, my Eyeglass Pick. There's no lens in here, but it improves my vision. Click through to see how. Or my Widgy Pry Bar. This little guy is awesome. Click through the Widgy to find out more thoughts of mine about this little guy. Alright. You can also visit my shop where you can get things like this, or things like this. Not exactly things like this unless you're willing to send me your flashlight, although I am totally cool with that. I do wraps like this occasionally for knives and things like that, but as yet I haven't had any requests for a retaining cord for a flashlight. Be sure to specify how long you want the paracord to be. This guy right here is 8 feet, although I've made them as big as 15. The only difference is how big this gets. You can make that quite a bit longer. You can choose from a handful of different patterns for this portion, or you can choose to have none at all and make it the minimum possible for a retaining cord. That is entirely up to you. I recommend, however, that you don't use tack cord for it because that is much too thin. I tried it, it didn't really work. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. I appreciate you spending time to watch this through all the way to the end. You guys are really great for continuing to watch my videos and support me and such. See you with the next review.